Florida State versus Miami is a tremendous college football rivalry. It's one of my favorites. And I'm guessing if you tuned into this show, you probably like it quite a bit too. The Noles and the Canes have had so many great battles and so many great players and coaches. It makes college football fun. It's one of the reasons that I actually run this channel, to have the opportunity to cover that game from a year-round perspective, not just game day, not just game week, but around the clock, year-round. Recruiting, roster management, transfer portal, all the smack talk online, all that stuff. It's fun to a certain degree. Of course, we got the idiots to get rid of here and there with their comments, but besides that, this is a great rivalry. And I wanted to go over a few things for each team that I liked or didn't like as we slowly get closer to that game. This is just the beginning stages, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. But Florida State Miami is October 4th. We're really not that far away. So, concerns. First one for Miami. Beck, when they played Notre Dame, was red hot, especially against zone. Hit 30 passes, hit 20 out of 30. But if you break it down closer, there's something that was surprising to me, and I don't really know why this was. Against zone, he was 13 out of 16. That's pretty darn close to lights out. Against man, though, he was only 7 out of 14. That's a little disappointing. Notre Dame had a couple of busts on who was supposed to rotate where, et cetera, as they transitioned to a new defense a little bit. But that's not an excuse. Beck put the ball in the money more often than not. He's good. Can he play against man defense if Florida State goes all out man? They've changed their defense too and went away against man. So that's something I'm curious about. Will the Noles break tendency with their new staff? Will they just try to confuse Beck, who is a veteran? He's a grad student. That's going to be a really, really interesting matchup. For the Noles, one of the concerns I have, their interior run game. The first 10 runs against East Texas A&M, only 5 netted 5 or more yards. Against an inferior opponent, you would think more. The good news is Florida State stuck with it. The bad news is they still had some busts on picking guys up or getting movement. They were inconsistent. You can't have that against Miami's defense. They got a lot more talent. They got Justin Scott, a future NFL second-round pick, I would say, something like that, a defensive tackle. He's only a sophomore. David Blay, the other D tackle, the transfer out of Louisiana Tech, I believe it is. 2 good players. They got edge players like Akeem Messidor. That guy doesn't get anywhere near the respect he deserves. He can pinch down well. And, of course, they have Reuben Hurricane Bain on the other edge. That is a good group. If Florida State cannot run the ball consistently for each quarter of the game, it really changes what they try to do with reverses, misdirection, and, of course, Tommy passing the football. Now, as far as the concerns, let's flip it over to the positives. If I'm Miami, this is one of the things that I'm curious about. You had the bust, the one just massive bust for the tight end for Notre Dame. Eli Raridan was just wide open all by himself. I forget, it was like 65 yards or something he got chased down from behind. If you have that against Florida State, does that cost you the game? It could. This is probably going to be a 7-point or less game, one way or the other. Not really shocking. Are they going to get away from that? They've got a few weeks to work out the kinks. They got a new DC, just like Florida State does. Or will they play better, play more consistent, kind of like they did this past weekend, and get away from that and tackle better? Now, their opponent this past week wasn't anywhere near Notre Dame's quality, but still, that's going to be interesting. Miami could turn a negative into a strength, but I don't know which way that's going to go, because Florida State's going to move the ball because they have so many players. They got a bevy of athletes. And by then, Landon Thomas should be good. Pittman should be good. I think LeWay McCoy will be good. BJ Gibson, Elijah, like all these guys are getting more reps, and they got a deep running back room. Rodell should be back. They can't afford any busts because Gus will make you pay. And Tommy's been a lot more accurate. He's one of the best quarterbacks in college football this year. It's time to say that. So I'm just curious, that 1 or 2 plays where, you got to make them earn it is the saying. Well, what if you don't? Would they lose if Florida State gets a freebie? It's possible. Same deal with Florida State in a way too, because if Miami doesn't give up any busts, and going back to that point about the run game, Florida State's capable of still running on Miami. I believe that, especially to the outside. when they catch them every now and then, but can they do so consistently on the inside so Miami can't pursue? They got plenty of speed on defense. That will not be a problem for the Canes. I also think that if you look at the Miami group defensively, they play with a little more edge than they have the last couple of years. That's really important. Florida State cannot get down against them, give them momentum, and take the crowd out at Doak, which that place was just absolutely electric against Alabama. So, again, I expect this to be a 7-point game one way or the other. Right now, I don't know which way I would go because I need to see the injury report from Florida State. Don't pay attention to Miami's because the worst person in college football with injury reports is the guy in Coral Gables. It's pathetic. But nonetheless, Florida State needs to get healthy, and then we need to see how this kind of works out. But Florida State, if they get down and they just have to throw the ball around, that changes Gus's offense a lot. So they need to hit plays when they're there, especially if it's a bust. And if they don't, they got to be patient. Miami might play a lot of shell defense to try to keep plays in front of them, especially after what Florida State did the first 2 weeks. They might even give Florida State some running room and just make them earn it and try to force them to field goals once they get inside the high red zone and into the red zone. It's possible. So those are a couple of things to think about. But again, October the 4th, that's the next time the Noles and the Canes will lock up. That is in Tallahassee. By then we'll see a lot of different things. But right now, I just think that's going to be a fantastic game. Should be a top 10 matchup. For those who didn't know, the Noles today were ranked number 10 in the AP poll. If they continue to win, go into that game, they should be somewhere between 5 and 8. I mean, there's going to be a couple other teams get knocked off. It's pretty exciting right now. This might be the highest ranked game between the two teams in more than a decade, maybe 2017, something like that. It's been a long time. So Florida State and Miami will kick off on October 4th, and I am very anxious. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for stopping in to check out Locked On Seminoles again today. We will see you again tomorrow.